Welcome back to the second day of Spidermas here at One Comic Book a Day. Spidermas just sounds wrong, but I like it. Today we're covering Amazing Spider-Man #1, the first story, which is just titled Spider-Man, just like the first story in Amazing Fantasy #15. And yeah, I said fantasy right that time. I did not plural it, like I did many times yesterday. So Spider-Man was supposed to continue in Amazing Fantasy, but due to the fan response, just the letter writing and just the reaction in general to Amazing Fantasy 15, they decided to give Spider-Man an actual comic. So this is Stan Lee and Steve Ditko working together on making the first issue of Spider-Man, which continues roughly where the last one ended. Aunt May is having trouble paying the bills. This is a usual Spider-Man problem. With Uncle Ben gone, there is no money coming in. What was Uncle Ben doing in the beginning? Don't know, he seemed old and should have been retired. So Peter has a really good idea. He wants to continue being on TV and making entertainment appearances to make money. And you know what? That's not a bad idea. The usual issue with that is Spider-Man is totally a character that believes if he's not out there patrolling or doing what he's doing, people die. So pretty much anyone who died while he was being Spider-Man on TV, he will blame himself for. And that is a fair thing to think. This is also how kind of Superman believes. But you do need money. And this isn't all that self-centered as they usually make it out to be. This is a noble idea that he needs to, live. But the old Parker Luck is going to come in and just slap that down. So the first half of this comic, it's a three-part story. And yeah, they tell us part 1, part 2, part 3. Is him returning to do TV appearances. His agent can't pay him out of pocket, so he has to give him a check. Peter, who we've been told is smart, doesn't see an issue with this, even though his agent warns him that, just making it out to Spider-Man is going to cause problems. He's like, no. Goes to the bank, the guy's like, do you have ID or a social security number, Spider-Man? No? Well, we can't cash the check. Apparently smart about science, nothing about, actual things you have to do in your daily life. But then things end abruptly for him, not because he's realized that people are going to die while he's doing this. No, J. Jonah Jameson, his first appearance, editor-in-chief? Not exactly. He just seems to be editorial. We don't know he's in charge of the Daily Bugle yet, has written an editorial, Spider-Man Menace, the famous headline. By the way, no one on this writing staff knew how to write a headline, because Spider-Man Menace would be a terrible headline. And then there's a later, just very wordy headline, and just no one would have let that happen. Unless, well, he is editor-in-chief. He is eventually just publisher, and Robbie's editor-in-chief, but he is in control. Writing a whole thing about how Spider-Man's just selfish and out there doing things. He's not really a hero, while we should be admiring J. Jonah's son, John Jameson, as a true hero, as he will be launched into space later this week. How convenient. People start believing this editorial, and, well, no one wants Spider-Man on TV anymore, ending his entertainment career. He will eventually become popular again, because that's the wave of Spider-Man. People will hate him, or people will love him, or half and half. But there are eras where people generally like him. He could go do TV appearances again. But his career is over. To lick his wounds, he goes to watch the shuttle launch. John Jameson is shot in the sky in a capsule, so we already see the problem here. They didn't shoot him up in a shuttle, so things are going to go wrong. There are problems with his navigation system. His capsule just starts spinning around, flying over the Earth. They have to find a solution, even though he would probably just crash and die pretty quickly. There would be hardly any time to talk about making a solution. Their first attempt is to shoot a metal net at his ship to catch it with a parachute. Don't think this was going to work. Someone should have really talked to some NASA scientists. That sounds ridiculous. But Spider-Man appears, and J. Jonah's not happy about it, but they're like, whatever, go do what you want. So he runs onto the tarmac, webs soldiers, steals vehicle, commandeers a airplane that another guy flies, is able to get so close to the capsule, he's able to web onto it and attach the new navigation system, saving John Jameson. And that is the main conflict of this. And with his spider strength, he can actually hold on to the capsule as it's going a undecipherable speed across the land. With John Jameson saved, Peter assumes that J. Jonah is going to support him, but J. Jonah just doubles down on his belief that Spider-Man is not really a hero, even though his son would not be alive without Spider-Man. And that's Spider-Man, one word. It's hyphenated in the title, but whenever anybody says it, it is not hyphenated. Though teenager is still hyphenated. What a strange editorial style Marvel has. Or 60s Marvel had. J. Jonah points at all the things he did, like Web the Soldier and commandeering vehicles to show that Spider-Man's truly a menace. And really, he's at fault for a lot of things, even though he saved John Jameson. And Peter just kind of gets annoyed and like, I guess I have to deal with this. And now he's wanted by the police and the FBI for doing something he actually did have permission for. A general gave him permission to do that stuff. So I'm not very actively strong issue of Spider-Man. We're still just setting up some stuff. The next part of the story will have an actual supervillain. So we'll see how that adds up to this story. It's kind of ridiculous why people hate him right away. Ditko's art's great. Costume looks good. There's some really good action scenes. I never had any problem telling what was happening. But that is it from Amazing Spider-Man #1. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday. But usually I'm covering Superman comics or Batman comics. And until next time, with great power comes great responsibility. You have to remember that because this comic won't let you forget. Bye!